You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
Here's what the data is showing about Korea right now. The KOSPI just posted back-to-back monthly gains of 30 and 28%, the strongest two-month run in the index's history outside of post-crisis rebounds. Foreign investors sold 44.7 trillion won in May alone, roughly $31 billion. And Jensen Huang is in Taipei this week meeting Korea's top 4 conglomerate groups. The geopolitical and technology currents all converge on Korea this week. It's Monday, June 1st. Here's why global investors are paying attention to Korea today. Start with the KOSPI. The index gained 28.45% in May, following a 30.61% surge in April. The May figure is the highest May performance in KOSPI history, beating the previous May record from 1990 by more than 12 percentage points. In normal market conditions, excluding post-crisis base effects, April and May 2026 rank as the second and fourth largest monthly gains ever recorded. The concentration risk is real. The top 10 stocks by market capitalization now account for over 60% of KOSPI total market cap, the highest reading since June 2000. Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix are the primary drivers. Consensus earnings estimates show Samsung Electronics operating profit growing from 57 trillion won in Q1 to 107 trillion won in Q4. But the quarterly growth rate decelerates sharply, from 49% in Q2 to 17% in Q3 and 7% in Q4. SK Hynix follows the same trajectory. Broker strategy calls for June are consistent. Rotate into oversold names in secondary batteries, shipbuilding, defense, and brokerages. Passive fund rebalancing is already creating mechanical selling pressure on the large-cap leaders. Foreigners have now sold over 100 trillion won net year-to-date, roughly $70 billion. Key calendar risk for June. The Korean derivatives expiry date on June 11th, the U.S. Federal Open Market Committee meeting on June 18th, and the U.S. triple witching on June 19th. Any of these could amplify volatility in an already extended market. Now the technology catalyst. Jensen Huang, CEO of Nvidia, is hosting Korea's top corporate leadership at a private dinner in Taipei tonight, what is being called a Korea Partner Night. Attendees include executives from Samsung Electronics, SK Hynix, Hyundai Motor, LG Electronics, Naver Cloud, and Doosan. The agenda: expanding cooperation on semiconductor supply and Nvidia's physical AI platforms, Omniverse and Isaac. Huang will separately meet SK Group Chairman Chae Tae-won to advance what is being described as an AI chip triangle alliance involving Nvidia, SK Hynix, and TSMC. Samsung Electronics is using the same venue to hold briefings on its next-generation HBM technology. The company shipped samples of HBM4E for the first time on May 29th. Nvidia returns to Korea around June 5th for follow-on meetings with Hyundai, LG, and Naver leadership. The product signal from Computex, Microsoft, and Nvidia are expected to announce the first Windows PC using an Nvidia chip as the primary processor. This marks the first time a full Windows operating system has run on Nvidia Silicon. Previous attempts used a lightweight Windows variant. The announcement is expected at both Computex in Taipei and the Microsoft Build Developer Conference in San Francisco, both opening on June 2nd. The addressable market Huang has cited for Nvidia's CPU business, including the Vera architecture, is $200 billion. Two macro risks running in parallel. The U.S. Iran ceasefire negotiation has stalled. Trump rejected a draft memorandum of understanding and sent back stronger conditions, demanding both a ban on nuclear weapons development and a ban on any purchase of nuclear-capable weapons. The U.S. Treasury has now seized approximately $1 billion in Iranian cryptocurrency assets. A military blockade remains in place. If negotiations collapse, oil price and regional risk premium impacts are relevant for Korean current account exposure, given Korea's energy import dependency. On the EU-China trade front, the European Commission held an emergency session to review import quotas, safeguard measures, and additional tariffs on Chinese goods. China's Commerce Ministry responded with an explicit threat of retaliation. The EU's trade deficit with China is running at approximately 1 billion euros per day, roughly 1.7 trillion won. For Korean exporters competing with Chinese manufacturers in European markets, any escalation is a relative positioning opportunity. 3 things to watch this week. Nvidia's Computex keynote on June 2nd for new chip announcements and Korea partnership disclosures. SK Hynix HBM4E customer adoption updates following Samsung's HBM4E sample shipment. And June 11th, KOSPI derivatives expiry as the first volatility test for an overextended market. That's today's AI Prism Global Investors. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a Juan Ifra award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.